Hey, wonderful people, a pleasant evening to you. So, wonderful people, today I was listening on a live, and there were two people. One, she had indicated she's not an immigration lawyer by profession, but rather an immigration, she had said, advocate or consultant, one of the two, as well as a paralegal. So, paralegal is not like, how you would have a barrister lawyer who, went the full gamut of learning the laws of the land and how to articulate that verbally and in terms of their action when they're in court, if they're doing litigation, or other legal aspects, I think it's just maybe some basic training, or maybe it's a certificate course in the whole paralegal aspect of it. But they will have at least, fair enough, a decent enough knowledge and understanding of the laws, especially the ones that are really, really pertinent to those who may be in serious or in dire situations. And she was, basically giving sound advice to those who are living overseas and they are not what we would call in Jamaica, using our vernacular, straight. So they came over maybe through the borders and, just in an illegal manner they came. Maybe they sought asylum because, especially if you belong to a minority group, like some of the, maybe as it relates to like the alphabet crew, based on the type of treatment that they will get on our Jamaican shores. They are fearful of their own lives or the stigma that is associated with it. So they seek asylum outside of the country, from countries that accept their lifestyle, that accept their practices. Some people do it on the basis of they need a better life financially. Generally, it has to do with finance for the majority that you will see will go off, they will run off. Sometimes they go into the country legally, meaning on the regular, I don't know what you call that particular visa again, visitor's visa, and they just say, you know what, I'm not going back. I'm just not going back. So again, they are on the shores of America illegally in their present state. And what she was saying is, let us categorize them now. If you have committed a criminal offense, so the criminal offense, they span many areas, but we can call some of the basic ones that we're familiar with, stealing, or robbery with aggravation. So you not just rob, but you do it where somebody's assaulted, annihilating somebody, getting rid of somebody permanently from earth. TikTok, you can't use certain words, and I don't, or maybe sexually assaulting. We need to stop using the GRAPE for the RAPE. So, I hate when we start to spoil good and meaningful words. There's so many words in the English language that we can choose. Instead of saying rape, we can say sexual assault, even sexual molestation. Harassment is a little bit milder. Good. And she was saying, if they catch you, you are going to be deported. The only way you're not is if God, I am adding that, if God says you are not coming back to the island of birth. That is the only way. That somehow they find favor with you. You look like somebody who will contribute in another sense to the growth and the development of the country. But if you have committed criminal acts and you're there illegally, once ICE catches you, that's it. And that makes sense. I suppose any law-abiding country would practice such policy or law. What they're saying is that if you have not committed any criminal offense and you are there illegally, it is best that if they catch you, to have a lawyer present. You have the right to remain silent and you have the right to get legal representation. That's a basic human or a basic fundamental right to every human being, even the ones who committed, some form of criminal activity. That is something that we know of. And because if you go without legal representation, on the basis of experiences, again, let me interject. This was not coming from an immigration lawyer. it was an immigration consultant. In fact, another one came on, and one of the two people was a paralegal, because she had indicated that, and yes, so they were saying, if you are undocumented, if you are just there illegally and undocumented, that it is best to have legal representation for the ones who may have had committed some sort of criminal activity, something that was unlawful, illegal. It's best to see a criminal immigration attorney or something like that, because I guess what their training is specialized in dealing with, when they commit criminal acts, and I guess they're going to go through the entire gamut of why, when, where, what, how. Those are the questions that they always say to ask, and to get the background of everything. My encouragement to our Jamaican people. I know Jamaica is difficult financially and socially. The average person is still suffering, even though they say that the country is doing well. Unemployment is 4% or less, and the economy is great. And it was basically sort of, when you would say, seconded by Fitch and Moody and all of these financial guru companies and so on. When you go off illegally, you're putting yourself at triple risk. And one of the worst things that can ever happen is that you go through all of that. Some of you have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars, and you're there for many years. It still was a little bit easier, although you were kind of living like a fugitive. And then after so many years, you end up coming right back to baseline. You come right back to baseline. Baseline. Because you went, when you commit acts that are illegal, not just immoral, but illegal, what you're doing, people, and I'm not saying this without any feeling or without any compassion or understanding, but you're putting yourself at a greater risk of being sent back or to be treated poorly, even more than the person who went there legally. Because sometimes you have to be hiding behind Tom, Dick, Harry, Jill, and Jane. You have to be taking jobs under the table. You have to be taking any amount of monies that may be offered to you. You have to take the sort of slavery treatment, bad treatment, poor condition. I mean, the list goes on, and you're in fear of your lives. And you're in fear of them saying, we're going to call ICE and you're going to call immigration on you, so that they send you back to the difficulty that you just try to escape. When somebody is in a bad relationship and they run, especially the woman run, and then you hear that you have to go back to the same man as a woman, it's like you wonder if it may as well you just exit Earth. I don't encourage running up, because you see now, everybody when I say everybody, I'm speaking loosely, it's like they're now being caught with their pants down and wearing nappy, fretting. Some people are afraid to show up for the jobs because they don't know if they're gonna, and because ICE, they know you can't hide. You're in the cellar, they come and find you. You're in the clubs, they come and find you. One was saying that there is a sort of, they were having this African market somewhere in the Bronx or wherever, and they went there. But who is on the list first and foremost? Those were criminals. Let me interject. This deportation did not begin under Trump's administration. I remember when Barack was in power, former president, and the people would say to me, Toni-Ann, they witnessed for themselves. Like they would say, I'm just guessing days, I'd say on a Monday, you see they're coming from the US. On a Wednesday, they're coming from Canada on a Thursday. And they saw it regularly. This happened so this is not because of him. It's just that because technology and media is more pronounced. Guys, boy, no run off. Do your best to go the legal way. You know what to do, read TikTok and YouTube, subscribe and give one of those